welcome back to Happening by Chance. My name is Mariana and today I am here with the One World Tarot tag, which is a VR to Nova from Nova Mundi Tarot and Aldona from Elements of Tarot. As ever, as always, I have a million video ideas that I haven't filmed, and this isn't the video that I was planning to film. But when I saw this tag, I knew that this is the one that I had to film. I haven't been able to film because it has been raining and storming. Storming is a verb. Raining really loud for like a full week. And beforehand, I hadn't been able to film. Anyway, I'm filming in the evening. I don't usually film at this time because I don't like the lighting. I hope it's not too bad. I decided that it's better to film with bad lighting than to not film at all. It's also raining at the moment, although very lightly. So if you can hear it, I'm sorry. I hope it's not too annoying. So let's just get on with it. The purpose of this VR is to share decks that are created by creators from different parts of the world, so like different countries, and showcase them. So the idea is that you share 7 countries and 7 creators. Or I don't know if you have to share 7 countries. I'm going to share 7 countries, and I still have a lot of decks that I am not showing. I realize that I have decks from all over the world, from every single continent. I have a deck, which is really cool. I'm going to show you 7 countries. The idea is to keep it to 7 creators, but you can show multiple decks by each creator. So I think I'm going to keep to the rules mostly. I think there's only just one country that I'm going to share multiple creators, but that's because it's Mexico, and so, well, I wanted to share some Mexican creators, you know. And Colombia, I think Colombia also I'm going to talk about 2 creators, but other than that, I do think I'm going to keep to the rules. So before I start, I just wanted to give a quick PSA/reflection about geography, just because they were talking about the number of continents that there are in the world, but that's the number of continents depending on the country that you live in. So for me, there are less continents than what they were saying in the video. And that is because geography is not universal. Geography is not standardized. Obviously, countries and like the lines between countries, that is very standardized nowadays. But the continents are not, and a lot of other nuances in geography, namings and such, are not universal. They are power dependent. Depending on the country that you're living in, depending on the interests of the country that you are living in, depending on the area of the world, depending on if you are from the global north or the global south. And when I say global north and global south, I am not talking about geographical north and geographical south. I am talking about the colonial theory, you know, like global north oppressors, global south oppressed, right? So depending on which category you fall on, depending on the level of privilege that your country has, you will be taught geography differently. That is very important. Like, geography is not a universal thing in terms of how we are taught, and that is something very important that I wanted to say. So for instance, we don't divide between North and South America. I don't know for a fact where that division comes from, but I tend to think that it comes from narratives of power. And to me, saying that North America and South America are 2 separate continents is it would be like saying Western Europe and Eastern Europe are two separate continents. To me, it doesn't make sense because that's how I have always known it to be. It's just one continent. That is why for us, America is a continent, not a country. And that is a very important distinction that is a whole other topic that we are not going to get into. But on the arbitrariness of geography, think just, for example, about the 16th century, right? And you had so many different nations in America as a continent, from the Incas to the Mayans to the Tlaxcaltecs, and all those nations were randomly, arbitrarily smushed together into a single country, into different countries, right? Think of nowadays in the US and Canada. You still have indigenous nations that are forced into a single country just because that is the decision that power entities decided. And that is why the geographical divisions are so arbitrary. And that is what I mean when I say that geography is not universal. That's just something I'm saying just to show and to remind everyone, right, that geography is very much dependent on where you are and the way you are taught geography, the way you are taught history, the way you are taught culture is very much dependent on where you are. Okay, so let's begin with the first country, which is Venezuela. And from Venezuela, I'm going to share two decks from one creator who is Amelis Andrade. These two decks are newer additions to my collection, and I am super excited about them. I am beyond thrilled. I was so beyond happy to find them. I have talked at length about how I wish there were decks, nature decks, that featured nature that was familiar to me. Because there aren't, or they weren't. These two decks are nature decks that feature Latin American plants and Latin American animals, and I am thrilled that they exist. So these are created by Amelis Andrade, who is from Venezuela, but she lives in Argentina. So I'm going to start by showing you the oracle, which is this one over here, which is called Animales entre yuyos. Yuyos is a word that we don't use in Mexico, but it means plants, basically. So it's animals between plants. And here it has a whole beautiful text about the project and about like creating this Americanist vision of the cards. And again, Americanist refers to the American continent. So these are the backs, and the fronts look like this. This is the title card. And so you have an animal, and then you have plants that are from the habitat. Is that a word also in English? Yes, right? I mean, the plants are from the region that the animal is from. I love this card because this is a Xoloscuincle that is a Mexican dog. So you have different Latin American animals and the plants that are from the region. I love because the animals, even though I don't know all the animals in here, as is the case in many animal oracles, they are more familiar to me in the type of animal, in the name of the animal. They are more familiar to me than the animals that are usually featured in animal oracles. So that makes me super excited. The art is made by watercolor, and the keywords are absolutely fantastic. It has some keywords that I've never seen in any other deck, and it's just amazing. It is divided into 4 quadrants, and I am actually planning on doing a full video specifically dedicated to these decks. So I'm going to leave it at that with the oracle, and I'm going to show you the tarot. And I don't remember if I mentioned, but the watercolors are painted by hand on paper and by Amelis Andrade. And the box unfortunately got very damaged during the shipping, during the customs checkup. It had a lot of problems in customs, this package, but luckily I had this beautiful bag that is made by artisans here in Mexico, and it's perfect because it has flowers, and the tarot is a botanical tarot. These are the bags, which are an modification of a design made by a Colombian designer. This is the title card. It's called Tarot, Entre, Yuyos, which again is because of the plants, and the subtitle is Latin American Herbal Arcana. I don't know the plural of arcana in English. So this is a bougainvillea, which is a beautiful. I have bougainvillea flowers in my house. These are very common. Bougainvilleas are super common in lots of houses. In outside, from outside, you can see the bougainvilleas. But it has another name because again, she is from Venezuela and Argentina. She lives in Argentina, so there are many different words that I don't know, and also she uses a lot of indigenous words from different indigenous languages in the deck, which is something I really like. And the what's it called, the names and the chords and the suits have changed, so they don't remain the same. They are all indigenous concepts. I love this one. Corn is a magician, and my favorite one is the Empress, which is vanilla, which, fun fact, vanilla is a plant from Mexico actually. It was exported to Europe during the conquest, but it is originally from Mexico. I am not going to be able to find the vanilla, but you get the idea. This is the tarot. So this I'm not going to use as a tarot. I don't know how I would read with it. I have the fantastic book that I have to read, but I'm probably going to use it more as a learning tool. I'm not very much a plant person. I don't know a lot about plants, so I'm probably going to use it more as an oracle and to learn about the different plants that are here. And from Venezuela, we are going to Chile, and it's actually a favorite deck of mine, a favorite deck in general in TarotTube, and a lot of people get the nationality wrong of the creator. She's from Chile. She's from Chile. Amparo Aguirre, the creator of the Minchiate di Bomarzo. I have heard a lot of people say she's Italian. She's from everywhere in the world except Chile, except Masha. Masha always gets her nationality right. She does have Italian heritage. Her grandma is Italian, which is why she has created this Minchiate, and she actually lives in Italy, in the town of Bomarzo, which is why her Minchiate is called Minchiate di Bomarzo, because that's where she lives. And in the world card, which if you have seen the world card in Minchiate decks, the world card features the scenery or the cityscape, is that the word? The cityscape of Bomarzo. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find the world card. I feel like Minchiate has been shown a lot lately. It's becoming very popular, but you know, Minchiate have the cool centaur knights. And this one is super colorful. Actually, the original name of when the Kickstarter was live, this deck didn't have a name. It was only called Colorful Minchiate. It was actually, there was a first campaign that didn't fund, and I was super bummed, but then she made a second campaign, and that one did fund, and I was so happy because I've been following the process since she was creating it. This is also painted by hand on paper, but I think it's wash, if I'm not mistaken. I heard someone, I don't remember who I heard say that this was created digitally. It wasn't. If you go back to her Instagram, all the way back to when she was creating it, she was painting it by hand on paper, and she took a picture of all the bunch of papers finished when she finished the deck. So it's yeah, just like really colorful, really cool. I feel like it has been shown a lot. This is the first edition, which I'm glad I have, because the second edition comes with a 2-part box instead of the beautiful top box, and the gilding is shiny, and I think it's not metallic, but it is shiny, and you know how much I dislike shiny gilding, so I am so happy to have the first edition. Also, I really like the linen cardstock. This one is etched in blue. So next we are going to Colombia, and the reason why I'm going to show you two creators from Colombia is because the first one that I'm going to talk about, I don't have the deck. It's a deck that is coming to me. I have been mulling over it for a long time. I finally, it was on sale and I finally got it, and it is the Macondo Tarot. Macondo is the fictional town in 100 Years of Solitude, and this is a tarot based on 100 Years of Solitude. So the creator is from Colombia, but he lives in Spain. I think his parents are Colombian and Spanish. I don't know who is who, but you know. So his name is Andrés Marquinez Casas, and he is the creator, the illustrator, everything. 100 Years of Solitude is one of my favorite books. I feel like as a Latin American, it's just, I'm not going to talk about it because I'm going to be here a long time, and I do want to make a dedicated video to the deck when it arrives. It's coming to me. I'm showing you pictures. It's a pip deck, which is fantastic, and it is different pips, which I love, because as I was saying at the beginning with the thing where I was saying how the vision, the perspective of tarot is not universal as much as we would like to think it is. When I think of creating, because I'm a graphic designer, right? So often I think of creating decks, and when I think of creating like a Mexican deck, I came to a conclusion that I would need to change a lot of things, suits, majors, etc. because of that. But I'm going to talk about it when the deck arrives, because I do want to make a dedicated video where I go over the deck, explain the cards, talk about 100 Years of Solitude, etc. So that is coming eventually. Oh, and now that we are on Colombia, I want to take a second for you to admire my beautiful, beautiful background, because it is from Colombia. They are called molas. This is a form of craft from Colombia. My parents just came back from Colombia, and my mom brought me a lot of these beautiful molas to use as background and to have some made into tarot bags. So I'm very excited about that. But the next deck that I am going to show you, because again I don't have the Macondo yet, so I can't show it to you, so I am going to take the opportunity to show another deck. And this is a deck that actually my mom bought for me in her trip, and it is an oracle deck. It is a really, really cool oracle that didn't come with a box. It came in this bag. It didn't come with a box. It didn't come with a title card. She bought it in an indie bookstore, and the oracle is created by a Colombian designer called Fernanda Suárez. It is a literary oracle, and it features all Latin American and Spanish authors. It's super, super cool because it has the picture of the author, a quote from the author, and then like a small oracle quote, but then it has a title. Every writer has a title, like an archetype, and the titles are amazing. So for instance, this is Laura Esquivel, and for who actually is Colombian and for Laura Esquivel is the weaver of knowledge and memories. And then you have, for instance, here Alejandra Pizarnik, who is a poet. I think she's from Argentina. And it says, the inhabitant of silence. And for instance, this one is María de las Estrellas, and it says, the wizard of... oh my gosh. The Wizard of The Wizard of Child Wonder. How would you say that in English? The Mother of the World. And this is Gabriela Mistral. The Lady of Forgotten... the Lady of the Luminous Oblivion. And this is Maria... oh my god, no, I can't read with this lighting. Oh, I have all the women, because I was counting how many women there were, but there are also men. So here you have Jorge Luis Borges, who is very well known, and it says, the Visionary of Infinite. The Architect of the World, Octavio Paz. Octavio Paz is a Mexican Nobel Prize winner. So it's just the coolest. And it was created by Fernanda Suárez, a Colombian designer. Then we are going to Argentina, and for Argentina I'm going to show a really cool Marseille deck that I have a walkthrough in my channel, and it is the Snail Marseille. This one you can get on Make playing cards. It's hard to find this designer, and I don't know her actual name. She goes by Lilliam on NPC, and in general she goes by Lilliam. She doesn't seem to have like I don't know, Instagram or something, but she does have a Tumblr and a blog and a website, so I'm going to link that. She has really cool decks on NPC. So far I only have this one. She also has Bieville called the Red Cap Bieville, and she has a newer one that she created called the Medieval Vampires. Oh my god, that one, I wish it wasn't so horrifying. It's dark and scary, and if you like dark and scary, you might love that one. You know me, I'm not much for dark and scary. I wish it wasn't so dark and scary because the art style is so cool. These are the bags. I have a walkthrough recently of this one, so I'm not going to keep showing it. I actually know she's from Argentina because when I first came across this deck, it was available as a printable file on Etsy, on her Etsy shop. Both this and the Bieville. So I had them on my wish list. And she also creates dolls. Really creepy dolls as well. If you like the creepy aesthetic, you might love it because she has really cool stuff. It's just not my aesthetic, you know. But sadly, I don't remember her Etsy shop because after a while she removed the printable files for the decks, and so I no longer have the Etsy shop and I can't find it. And she does or did have an Instagram for her dolls, and I can't find it either. So I'm going to link below the website and such, and maybe if you're good with internet sleuthing, you'll be able to find it. Oh, I didn't specifically look for the doll stuff, so maybe you'll be able to find it if you look for it. But yeah, so this is a Snail Marseille created by Argentinian creator Lilliam. Again, that's the name she goes by online. So next we are going to Spain. Yeah, I'm going to leave Mexico for last. So next we are going to Spain. And for Spain I was going to show the Macondo Tarot that I love, but I literally just showed it in my top 10 favorite modern peeps deck, the favorite peeps video. So I'm not going to show it again. So instead I'm going to show the Poker Tarot by Vicente Molina, who is the creator of the Morandi Tarot Morandi. This one is called Poker Tarot, and this is also a kind of a recent addition to my collection, so it's going to be in order. But the reason why it's in order is because I am supposed to make a video with this, and so because of that I hadn't used it, and I don't know if I do want to make a video. So this one is a poker deck, but it has really cool designs for the cards, and each card has a Latin quote. So as I said, it's in order. But yeah, this is designed by Vicente Molina, who goes by Molina. His Instagram, I think, is Morandi something. Morandi, maybe Tarot Morandi, I don't know. The Morandi is better known, but he also has one called Ronda Tarot, and I have seen some walkthroughs of it. This one, because of the name, because it's Poker Tarot, it's hard to find like on Instagram stuff, because if you look for Poker Tarot, you will come across I want to show you the quotes because the quotes are beautiful. Look at the quotes are so beautiful. But yeah, like if you Google on Instagram, you are going to get results for regular like poker decks, right? So yeah, the queens are very cool, and then it has some extra cards, the jokers, and this, I think this is a card from his Ronda Ronda Tarot. And he's a known illustrator from Spain. Like, he has other stuff that he has done, as a lot of deck creators, right? A lot of deck creators also have other stuff as well. This one might be out of print. I'm not sure. I still got it from his shop, but when I got mine, he had very few left, so I am not sure. He has an Etsy shop. If you look for him on Instagram, I'm going to link everything down below as usual, or mention everything down below, right? I always do. Oh my god, it's so hard to put the card back when I have like horizontal and vertical cards. That's why I don't like to spread them out a lot, but sometimes I forget. And the box is also beautiful. This is a motif from one of the cards. I don't remember which card, but it's so cool. Then we are going to Jamaica, and for Jamaica I'm going to show a deck by a creator that I think she's Jamaican Canadian, something like that, but she was born and raised in Jamaica according to the biography in the box. So this is the Cook's Tarot, and this actually came in today. This is a mass market deck. I think I've shown all indie. This is the first mass market that I show, by Judith MacKay Stirt, written and illustrated by Judith MacKay Stirt, who was born and raised in Jamaica and now lives in an island in Canada. These are the bags. I'm not crazy about the bags, but I love the cards. The only card that I don't like is the Justice card. I actually hate with a passion the Justice card. So I'm thinking I'm going to like cross it out literally, because it's woman on a scale, and I hate that, and I hate there is a Justice card, and I am against the message, but other than that, I love the deck. I think it's absolutely beautiful, and it has all this kind of art style, which it reminds me of a certain aesthetic that was very popular in, I want to say, like early 2000s maybe. It's a very, very specific aesthetic. I don't know if you're going to be agreeing with me, but it was called, let me think about it, and it reminds me of that aesthetic. And I actually came across this deck after I made my disability video, when I mentioned that I would like to have some more food related tarot decks. This is not what I meant, because what I want is to be able to see the delicious food, right? But I came across this deck and I fell in love with the art, and so I got it. And it's mass market and available and accessible in price. Yeah. Okay, so to end the video, we are coming to Mexico. And I've talked at length about Mexico and tarot and the culture of tarot in Mexico and like blah 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 blah. I was talking to Aina recently about this, and I was saying I feel like people wildly underestimate how Catholic Mexico is. I'm not going to go into the history. Never mind all that. I went on a tangent. Let's bring it back to the decks. So the tarot that I want to start talking about, or the creator that I want to start talking about, because I want to specially feature that creator, is a creator I actually don't have a deck to show you, because he focuses on RWS, and as you know, I don't buy as many RWS, especially clones. So yeah, that's why I don't have decks by him, but they are very cool, and I do follow him, and I am hoping that he will create a deck of a specific theme that I would love to, a 90s theme deck, because he creates a lot of decks, pop culture decks. Anyway, the reason why I want to feature him is because we are in Pride Month and he is a gay creator. And he is from Mexico, so I want to feature him even more. He specializes in pop culture decks. His name is Juanjo Cristiani, but he goes by EnjoyMyCake, or that's like his brand, on Instagram, on Etsy, and he has several decks. So he has a deck called La Mas, which is based on a Mexican drag show, and TV show, I mean, and he has one called Fortune Queens, which is based on RuPaul's Drag Race. He has a Mean Girls one called the Plastic Oracle. He has a Coraline one called the Other Tarot, and he has a Lady Gaga one. That's his most recent one. It was on Kickstarter. It's called the Little Monsters Arcana. I think he's currently shipping. I saw a post on Instagram where he was like, please guys, like, be patient, because it's just like yeah, people are not patient with indie creators when it comes to shipping, and it's so hard. It's so much of a job. Like, people, be patient with creators, with indie creators. It's just like a one-man or two-man show. His post was like, please, patience. It's literally two gays in the house trying to get all sorted. Like, please, be patient, guys. With indie creators in general. So those are the decks that he has. I do love Mean Girls. As any millennial, I can quote the entire movie, and so that's the one that I have thought about. But again, I don't buy a lot of RWS clones. But he also, at the beginning, he, like, when he started his Instagram, he has some posts about 90s witches and like Sabrina Spellman and things like that. So I wish, I hope he makes like a 90s themed tarot eventually, because he's from Mexico, so I feel like if he were to create a 90s themed deck, it would be so cool, and I feel like I could relate because he's Mexican and a millennial from the 90s, like a 90s kid as I am. So I would love for him to create that. So moving on, because the rain is coming. So the main deck that I'm going to feature is a deck that is well loved on TarotTube. It's also well out of print. And a lot of people, I feel like, don't know that it's created by a Mexican designer. And it is, if you've seen my channel before, you know what lives in this bag. It's the Marshmallow Marseille. I have the edition with the lovely holographic bags. I have seen people that say that it was too much and that it didn't need the holographic. I'm like, what are you talking about? I love the holographic bags. So this deck is based on the Trieste Italian Tarot, which is also, it's so lovely. I would like to have that deck, but it's out of print. The edition that was available is out of print, so kind of pricey. But I would love that one. So I feel like a lot of people know the Marshmallow Marseille. This was created by a team of brothers, Jorge and Emilio Quake, who are both Mexican creators, obviously. And I feel like the team was led by Jorge Quake. He is the creator of Wandering Oracle. That was the brand that published, like Wandering Oracle was his brand when it comes to divination. Jorge and Emilio Quake are, from what I could tell, like, because I was doing some research on every single creator that I talked about. I do like to do the research and give the correct information. They are very much in the arts. They have a play together. Jorge Quake is also a cinematographer. Emilio Quake is an actor. They have tons of projects in the arts. So I don't know if they'll ever come back to tarot, but I wish they did. At least I wish they would reprint these two, because I always I always regret that I didn't get the Tarot Siren, which was the mermaid themed deck that they had, very similar to the Marshmallow, but mermaid themed, and I always regret that I didn't get that one. So if they don't create another deck, I wish at least that they would bring back for another run these decks. I feel like people would appreciate the Marshmallow. A lot of people really want it, and the Siren as well. I want it. So that's a Marshmallow Marseille by Jorge and Emilio Quake from Mexico. Hey guys, excuse the change in lighting. I forgot to film a clip of one deck that I do want to show for Mexico, so I'm going to do it now. I wanted to talk about the majors only Leonora Carrington. This is the edition published by the Leonora Carrington editorial board. As you know, Leonora Carrington was Mexican. She was born in the UK, but she also had the Mexican nationality. After the UK, she moved to Paris and then to Spain, and then she came to Mexico, and she did most of her work in Mexico, and she died in Mexico in 2011. The Leonora Carrington editorial board was created by her son, who is Pablo Weiss Carrington, whose name is in the box because this is like the deck published by them. So it's a really cool box set. I mean, I have the less luxury version. There is a super luxury version, but this one has this really cool box with the gold and the horse. I forget the name of this horse, but it's important in terms of iconographically for her and her work and her life. And here you have the Leonora Carrington board, and this is the logo. And yeah, so it's one of these types of boxes, and it comes with a lot of things. So you have here a picture of Leonora. It comes with this, I forget what it's called, but it has its eyes open in one side, closed in the other. So you can use it also as like a divination tool if you want, or as a game for like the booklet has some ideas, right? It's supposed to be like external insight and then internal insight, right? But you could do like yes and no. Like there are many ways where you could use this. This is just like a title card, and again the branding for the Leonora Carrington editorial board. This one has the black edges, so it's kind of like more like a witchier vibe, I feel like. And I feel like everyone knows this one because everyone loves the Leonora Carrington majors. So this is the way the deck looks. I think the lettering in the cards is similar to the Fulgur Press one because it's based on Leonora Carrington's handwriting. And then in the back, I love the backs. You have super elegant all black, and then the horse in gold. And so, of course, it's a reversible back if you do read reversals. But then a really cool thing about this box set also, the book. Oh, also it comes with a screen printed mat. It's super big. It won't fit in the frame, but it has the 4 elements. So it's earth, fire, water, and air. And these are sketches by Leonora Carrington, obviously, and they are screen printed in gold. And then the book is super cool because it has obviously, well, it has a foreword by Leonora Carrington's son, about what he remembers of how Leonora Carrington used tarot cards. It has like an introduction by the president of the Leonora Carrington board, and it has, of course, a lot of pictures of Leonora. Here is a self-portrait where you can see the horse that is featured. Of course, it goes about tarot, about how the surrealists used the tarot, meanings for the cards, and then in the back it has different ways of using the cards, like different ways, like surrealist ways, like using mirrors or a spread, different types of things. And I really love one thing I really love, this type of more like editorial decks, where you do have all the information printed as you do in books. And I really enjoy that because you can see everyone who participated in the deck. I don't think I mentioned this was printed in Mexico, in Toluca, Mexico. Obviously, the Leonora Carrington editorial board is in Mexico. It's a Mexican-based organization, and Mexican organization. Obviously, Leonora's son is, both her sons were born in Mexico. She was married in Mexico. Again, she lived her whole life in Mexico. Or not her whole life, I mean, her youth obviously was spent in the UK, and then Paris and Spain. And yeah, you have all the credits here. So you have from like obviously the credits of the editorial board, but then you also have like down to the person who screen printed the mat, who printed and bound the booklets, the box, like every single detail, the person who designed the typography based on Leonora Carrington's handwriting. And I I said Latin American decks just because I have several decks from Latin America that do have full credits, even though they are not like art decks. And as a designer, I would love to go into that, but I'm not going to because I don't want to take it longer because this was just like an extra clip for the video. And finally, I want to talk about a creator who is currently creating an RWS deck. She is, her name is Amaya Giner Salinas. She is an artist, illustrator from Mexico. Her style is very like creepy, medieval, witchy type style. She does have other decks. She currently has a playing card deck that has a lot of spiders, and that's why I haven't bought it. But I have had like her calendars and other stuff. I've been following her for a long time, and she's currently creating an RWS deck. You can see the progress if you follow her on Instagram. Her Instagram is Libona Giner, but her name is Amaya Giner Salinas. So those are the ones that I want to feature. So that would be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you hopefully soon with another video because I have been gone for a while. And yeah, in the meantime, I wish you happy reading, whether that be card reading, book reading, weather patterns, charms, pendulum, dice, whatever form of reading you prefer.